Greetings and God's peace be with you. My name is Kristofer Lindh-Payne, and I'm one of the co-rectors at St. Francis Episcopal Parish and Community Center. I've shared with a lot of folks in the last couple weeks that I had the opportunity to pay off my student loans recently. These are debts that I've carried for a long time because it's been a minute since I was in college and graduate school. But I remember getting counsel around taking those student loans out, and these were good debts to have, and just part of how you move forward. How you get educated, how you do what you need to do to learn and grow. I think that the world has changed a lot since that time that I took on these various debts. And I got to say that it feels really good to be out from underneath them. I'm grateful for all of the support, and in a recent post I shared just that it was through the Episcopal Church Foundation and a partnership with the gathering of leaders in the Episcopal Church that helped me to match some of a grant that they gave me to be able to pay off that, and just to be free from that. But student loan debt is just one of many debts that people in our society carry. Consumer debt is another. Housing debt, medical debt. There are many ways that our neighbors can feel burdened by these financial commitments, and the ways that they hang over our head and can actually entangle us and really drag us down. Most of you probably know that St. Francis does a whole lot of work with folks that are facing significant housing debt, that have well before the time of this pandemic, but especially during this, we've taken to the next level our work in trying to help free people from the debt they owe in back rent, to be able to move forward in their lives. And it's been really powerful to see some of the change that's possible when we receive these grants through our community center operations, and are able to share them directly with families that are facing housing crisis, eviction, and potential homelessness. And it also, in supporting them, it also supports the landlord in interesting ways, as well as we know, many parts of our society are still really struggling from the challenges of the pandemic. The housing area is just one of them. But as we continue to watch housing costs increase, and people struggle to figure out what choices do they have, because the wisdom was that what you wanted to do was to buy a home so you could build equity, and then you'd be able to have that. That was a way that you could get ahead in life. As we've seen markets fluctuate and challenges over over these last couple of years, but I mean, it's been about 14 years since we saw significant challenges around the housing market early in in like 2007, 2008, and 2009. That's when our work, the work of the former Epiphany, really began in earnest around that in a new and different way. But I've just been thinking about that, and that debt that I've experienced, debt that so many of our neighbors are experiencing, and feeling incredible gratitude to have these educational opportunities that I have had, recognizing that so many people do not have them, and so many people are really burdened by the debts they carry that really prevents them from being able to make the decisions that they want and need to make for themselves and for their families. So I was reading one of the passages assigned. This one's from Deuteronomy 15. and it references the year of remission, also called the year of Jubilee. It's a time in the history of the Jewish people where every 7th year all debts were canceled. And I've talked about that in past posts before, but I want to share this passage. If there is among you anyone in need, a member of your community in any of your towns within the land that the Lord your God has given you, do not be hard-hearted or tight-fisted toward your needy neighbor, but you should rather open your hand willingly, lending enough to meet the need, whatever it may be. Be careful that you do not entertain a mean thought, thinking the 7th year, the year of remission, is near, and therefore view your needy neighbor with hostility and give nothing. Your neighbor might cry to the Lord against you, and you would incur guilt. Give liberally and be ungrudging when you do, for on this account the Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in all that you undertake. Since there will never cease to be some in need on the earth, I therefore command you, open your hand to the poor and needy neighbor in your land. I think that St. Francis is a place of great generosity, and we're finding more and more ways to give of ourselves in, I think, what are powerful and transformative ways. This mission that we're called to live in, articulated through the prophet Micah, to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God, compels us to action. And that's about generous giving to those that are most in need, but it's also the work of justice. And I would say that this debt cancellation that was a part of the fabric of the society of the Israelites during that time, that, this idea that when folks struggle in debt, that every 7 years that would be canceled out. So it was a way of really helping people to restart. It's a powerful tool of really equalizing things within the world that we live in. How different it is today, as we know and see people carry debt not only through their lives, but to pass that on to the generations to come. What does it mean for us at St. Francis as an Episcopal parish and community center to be about this work in creative ways, to really to look deeply into the challenges that people face, the financial challenges, the social and emotional and spiritual challenges, and figure out how to be creative in the ministry that we're called to? That's a ministry of presence and hospitality. That's work around creation care and ecological justice. That's work around education. That's work very much in the area of food ministry and figuring out why some people have way more than they need and others do not have enough.